Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm joined by my colleagues, Angela and Tanya, and we want to talk about the current market. In the market, as you know, there are inventory shortages, low interest rate, Yahoo! However, there is pumped up buyer demand. So the buyer demand has increased, and with that, we get multiple offers. So from that standpoint, we want to discuss the buyer's ability to pay and close. So although I've described the current market we're in, the information that we're going to talk about today is current for any market. So Tanya, my fellow realtor, and Angela, my lending partner, and I are going to discuss, once again, the buyer's ability to pay. So Angela, I want to start off by asking this first question. Can you tell me the difference between a pre-qualification letter and a pre-approval letter?
Yes, Lisa, I can absolutely explore on that for you. Again, she said, my name is Angela Wilson with Mortgage Access, and we are partners with Weichert Realtors. And exploring on the fact that you will receive in an offer from the lender a pre-approval or a pre-qualification, preferably a pre-approval, and here's why. A pre-qualification, we'll keep it layman's termish. A pre-qualification to me is where the lender has taken the information, let's say verbally, and they have not verified that information. So they did sort of a pre-qual consultation of that client. Whereas a pre-approval is taking the same, let's have the same client's information, and I'm going to explore a little deeper. I'm going to go through verifying information such as assets, your credibility, your debt to income ratio, your bank statements. So the whole kit and caboodle that involves the important things that's going to determine whether or not this would be a good client for a potential offer on a home.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tanya, I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Tanya Baird with Weichert Realtors. Thank you, Angela, for doing this with us. We appreciate it. Our next question is, when our clients, our sellers, receive offers, they usually have along with them the EMD, which is the earnest money deposit. And then there's the closing costs that are needed by the buyer for the transaction to be complete. As the lender, what is your role and how do you confirm that the buyer has the ability for those extra funds to put the seller's mind at ease that there won't be an issue when we get to the end?
Okay, thanks, Tanya. And great question, by the way. So again, in the pre-approval process, one of the things that we do is we do verify what assets and the information that they have in their bank account. So funds to close. With regards to the earnest money deposit, AKA EMD, that usually happens when an offer is made on a property. As you guys know, with the agent, they will request a certain percentage down with that contract to show the good faith that you are interested in buying the property. Now, with the earnest money deposit, we do not have that information, but during the process of underwriting, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to confirm that that client has the ability to obviously fulfill that earnest money deposit, and that amount then gets verified and confirmed that it's cleared their account and gets deducted from their bottom line of the closing cost. Does that answer that for you?
Yes, perfect. Great. That was good clarification too. And I know a lot of people get confused with where does my EMD go to? So it is deducted from their final closing cost expenses. Yes. Now, fast forward to the end of the transaction. What is the difference and why is it important for a seller, specifically the listing agent, to receive the closing disclosure as well as the clear to close? And what exactly do those things mean?
So it's a lot that goes on in a 30-day period, which is kind of the normal closing time. So we're doing like from A to Z within this window. And as we near the end, after the underwriting process. Underwriting meaning that the underwriter has gathered all the information that we've collected in addition to your contract, your financing contingencies, your appraisal, your funds to close. We take all this information. It gets underwritten and cleared by the underwriter that everything meets the guidelines of the particular program that the client is going to be using in the transaction. Once that's done, we have to provide a closing disclosure, which is basically information regarding what your closing costs will be. And it gets finalized and balanced between the closing department and the title company, and it finalizes the borrower's fees of what they have to pay, which is inclusive of, again, verifying that earnest money deposit. So we know that it's important that you get that CD so that you will be able to have time to get your funds for closing. And also compliance wise, the client needs to have that CD 3 days prior to closing before they can legally close on a mortgage transaction.
Perfect. And clear to close is just all of those things have been met and we're just waiting to get to the closing table.
Yeah, clear to close. I have two phrases. Yes, exactly. I have two phrases to my agents that they love to hear. My motto is once I have you pre-approved, it's let's go shopping. And so they know that you're good if I tell you that you're good to go look for a house. And then the other is we are clear to close.
Yep.
That means that the underwriter likes everything, your client meets all of the bells and whistles, it moves on to the closing department and then on to title and to the keys.
Yes, perfect. Well, thank you. I think Lisa has one more question for you.
So Angela, our final question is, and by the way, I'm Lisa with Weichert because I forgot to say
yes,
that.
You did. Hi, Lisa.
So Angela, you know that you're one of our lending partners, Yahoo, and we appreciate that. But you also know that we have other lending partners in our tool belt. So what makes you different? Why should we use you?
Well, that's a very good question because there are many lenders and it's a very competitive market. So one of the things that I find for being in the business over 20 plus years is that you develop a relationship with the clients. They become your friends. And people, when you're dealing with money, they want to trust you. You need to be transparent. You need to have, your ducks in a row and being able to explain to them the different types of mortgage loan products like FHA versus VA versus conventional, making them comfortable with, the process and basically holding their hands, particularly first-time home buyers. Very delicate situations with first-time home buyers. And I am a nurturing mortgage advisor. Like I like to hold their hands and make it comfortable for them because I want them to go through the process with as less stress as possible. And I pay attention to detail. And I know how important it is, particularly in this market, as aggressive as people are bidding these days, that we have to have a solid buyer. We have to have a good package that's going to the underwriter. We have to be able to meet those financing contingencies. We have to be able to get you guys to closing on time with as less stress and pressure as possible. And that is always my goal. And I'm proud to say that I probably have a 99.9% closing ratio right now. Which isn't bad.
Yes.
Yes, let me, yeah, so
Yes.
no, and it comes from, just being very detailed and, just making clients your friends.
Right.
Well, I'd like to say thank you, and I'll see if Tanya has any other parting words before we wrap this up.
No, thank you. I hope this information is valuable to everyone, whether you're a seller or a buyer. And even if it's not for you, feel free to share it. One of the three of us would be happy to discuss and talk more about any of this information. I know it was short and sweet, but we can elaborate in another conversation. So thank you. Have a great weekend. And thank you, Angela and Lisa. This was fun.
Welcome. Hey guys, you know what? One extra tip that I'll throw in just on the mortgage loan types, just as a filler. So there are different loan types like FHA, VA, and conventional, which are the most popular loan types. And the two, FHA and FHA stands for Federal Housing Administration, and VA stands for Veterans Administration. And those are the two popular government insured loans that a lot of borrowers use. They also have the lower down payments on those loans. And I would say we use those in the portfolio probably 90% of the time. And then you have conventional, which is the opposite, which is not insured by the government, but it's insured by private lenders. And again, when we have our next meeting, we can elaborate on the different types of products so you guys can have something to look forward to. But that was just a little bit to add.
Well,
Yes.
thank you for that little last tidbit. And I learned like there's a bunch of alphabet soups when it comes to lending, just like in real life. So we appreciate that. And
Yes.
yes, look forward to our next discussion.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
You guys have a happy Easter.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.